I did not buy into the OKC gets all the calls propaganda. I'm like, yo, Disney, I don't care.
Now
like,
you a full convert?
I'd rather. No, I'm not a full convert.
Okay.
But I'm more agnostic now. Like I was a disbeliever. But now it's like you got me. You know, like you remember Giannis, the Giannis meme. I'm like, yo, because the SGA non-offensive foul was egregious. I'm like, fam, it's not the finals. You can make that call. I get it. You know what they say. Bruh, they gonna have to watch Milwaukee Atlanta after this. You better keep Shea in that fucking game. You know, y'all know y'all not trying to watch this game without him, which is bullshit, but still. But it's like, yo, we can't. And so,
yes,
you gotta give us that offensive on OG.
That was bad
That's
call.
fair.
That's a bad call.
Yeah. Like, that's fair, in my opinion. If I get it. Y'all literally made a business decision. You gotta give us that OG. You give us that. First of all, he earned that. That wasn't an offensive foul.
It was a bad call.
You give him that, even though you're like, it is, but you say it was a block. I'm ready to wipe my hands of that already. But, yo, bro, there was stretches where I was like, oh, okay, should they just pack it up? And to your point, it would have. I don't think we would have blamed the Knicks for packing it up, especially with those back-to-back, the challenges and all of this.
They could have folded.
Then SGA hits the step-back three. It's like, all right, good game. But they did not fold. They fought to the end. They protected as much as you can without getting the win. Protected MSG. They didn't come in here and style on you like they did last season.
Yep.
It's unfortunate when these games get marred by poor officiating and what looks like preferential officiating.
Knicks fall to the Thunder 103-100 at the Garden. One of the biggest games of the season. Looked like an NBA Finals preview. My guy, Jeff Johnson from Knicks Film School. Bryan Fonseca, my guy here too. Jeff talked about before the game that the Knicks needed to pop out and show something. And look, this was not the prettiest game, right? But look, if you wanted to see fight, because you heard a lot of words from fans this year, I need to see fight. I need to see resilience here. I've never said, I don't think the Knicks are soft. I think they lack physicality at times. I've definitely said that. But they did not lack back down. If you are talking about the Knicks are losing fight, that's it. If you want to talk about, I don't know if Jalen Brunson could distribute the ball. Some people are going to look at the 5 of 17 and shot he missed, and they think basketball comes down to one play, and it doesn't. The man had 15 assists tonight. The Knicks went through
his best floor game of the season as a distributor.
Oh, I absolutely agree.
Like the best
absolutely
he's had.
Agree.
It's like it helps make up for the poor shooting performance. He did not shoot the ball
But that's
well,
what you do when you're a leader and a great player. You figure out other ways.
Just like how good teams win when they play like shit, good players still manage to be productive when their shot's not falling.
Agreed. Jalen Brunson, despite 5 of 18 night, still was a +3. Okay?
With a bad back.
This is the first time we're doing this all season. And if you guys agree with me in the chat, you can or not. I feel pretty encouraged by what I saw from the Knicks. And I'm taking this within the totality of what we've seen from the Knicks over the last 20 games, where they're 15-5, where they've held 11 opponents to 100 points or less, and they had the Thunder tonight at 103. And I have a ton of respect for the Thunder. But don't give me this with the Knicks with the back down. They beat the Spurs. They just played well with the Thunder. In a game, they were down 15 twice in the third and could have said, all right, guys, let's go home. Let's get ready to go to Denver. None of that.
15 offensively stinking it up until they turned up.
Yeah.
That's a team that showed me they belong. If you didn't think they was a contender.
That's my takeaway, too.
In some ways, this is going to sound maybe a little crazy, and I'm not a hot take guy, but I'm kind of more impressed with the process in this loss than I was with the win against San Antonio.
To me, this felt like a finals team. Like, in watching that game, like, I was like, I could be watching the finals right now with both of these teams. Now, Jalen Williams will probably be there. Deuce McBride will probably be there. But in looking at everything, it felt like, oh, this is a team that, to your point, belongs. Because the Spurs game, that was a dominant performance. I think the Spurs are really good. I also would be surprised if they win 3 playoff rounds in their first trip together as a core. Like, even though Wemby's 9'7". Right. Like, I would just be surprised by that. OKC is the bar. They're the champs. They've been great in the regular season despite having a lot of injuries. And they're still one of the best records, and they're still going to be the 1 seed in the Western Conference in all likelihood. And the Knicks on the second of a back-to-back. OKC was on second of a back-to-back too, even though SGA sat yesterday. And they had to travel more. Yeah. But you hung with them all game, and it's the way they played to me. Because I probably, of everyone in this room, have more concerns about the defense in the playoffs. Like, once teams start showing more of their cards, and then it's like, okay, this is how we're going to get to attack Brunson and Cat when they're on the floor together. This is how we're going to expose these mismatches. Like, teams are going to show more than they are right now in the regular season. That being said, this to me was like, okay, from a two-way perspective, because even they were figuring things out on offense too. They just weren't hitting shots. But defensively, they showed some things. They gave OKC some looks. OKC was putting shooters out on the floor that they couldn't always get to, which I thought was a credit to the Knicks defense. Like, everyone looked focused, locked in, and looked like they wanted to win. I didn't feel like they had a weak link today, which is another big thing. I did not feel like they had a weak link because you had Mikal playing well from a two-way perspective, OG playing well from a two-way perspective. Brunson figured out some things as a passer. Karl Anthony Towns, he had a couple silly fouls, but he didn't kill you, and he had a great game on the glass. Like, overall, this felt like a team that could compete for a title.
Jeff, do you feel the same way? Are you like, if you've had doubts about this team, and I think we all have had doubts about certain things with this team, but do you feel the same way looking at what you saw tonight, where you're like, this is a team that belongs, that they can play, they can get to the finals?
Yeah, for sure. Excuse me, Giannis. Excuse me.
Look, they got you watching the Bucks and the Hawks.
We got Bucks, Hawks. Yeah.
Listen,
right
man,
in front of us.
I'm a basketball junkie.
Same,
I need Basketball Anonymous, so I'd watch this regardless. So
Same.
I'm not gonna poo-poo, but I know this was a way hotter ticket last season, but at the beginning of the season. I never wavered that they could be a championship team. My concern was more so if you face a tall, athletic team or a tall, athletic, physical team, are you going to match their energy? And I think we saw those New York Knicks awake tonight. Because here's the thing. I feel like in that locker room, they feel like they have a switch. They think they have the switch where they can flip on whatever.
They play like it,
They
but I
play
don't
like
like
they
that.
flipped the switch. We don't have to like it,
right.
but we might have to learn to love it.
Or learn that that's who they are.
Yeah.
That explains
Yeah, right.
the inconsistency, by the way.
Like, think about it. I've said against the Pistons, I feel like they make business decisions. Like, man, I ain't trying to get beat up for the whole half. We all have our team. I ain't trying to get beat up. You know what? And if y'all are going to have the magnet ball from 3 when you shoot 30% against the rest of the league, we're out of here. We beat y'all in the playoffs. We know what it is. Like, I think the game in the Garden was the one where they showed up for a majority of the game. They just couldn't overcome what the Pistons
But it
had.
felt like in that game, and this is where I think bothers the Knicks fans, particularly the New Yorkers who were Knicks fans. That game felt like
Good clarification.
you had the resistance, and then you kind of let go of the rope a little bit at the end.
I believe it.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I believe it.
And we know this as New Yorkers. We want that. If somebody's gonna come at you tough, you got to bring that back.
Right.
And it hasn't always felt like that.
Right.
But to that point, I'm gonna want you to let you get back to cooking. To that point, today, and I'll bring it up again, in that third quarter, could have been a point of letting go of the rope and saying no mas. But that's not what happened here. This was actually fight. Now, granted, they don't have the length that Detroit does. OKC gives you physicality, but not in that same way.
I mean,
but they're so good defensively.
They're good defensively, and they play with a level of physicality that gets disregarded by the refs. Like, they get the benefit of the doubt for their phizicality. Like, Detroit's in that class now, too. They were in that class last season. I watched Tim Hardaway Jr. set extended arm picks entire series and not get called for an offensive foul. They were whooping the Knicks for 6 games and was allowed to do it with impunity, right? So I think OKC is in a different class than Detroit. I mean, that's just
I agree with you.
I think they're in a different class.
Yeah.
So to me, this performance means something. Like, that means, like, yo, you do have that extra gear to match championship level energy.
Yes.
Like, yes, there may be matchup issues, and maybe Detroit has certain matchups that are disfavorable to the Knicks, but that doesn't mean they can't match them. I don't think that Detroit's a better shooting team than OKC. I don't think that the OKC has more playmakers. They have 3 legit guys who could create their own shot. Detroit has 1, right? So I'll take more, and it could sound like how it sounds. I take more out of this than I do the previous 3 games, especially if we're going to play this hot potato game between caring about regular season wins and losses and not, right?
I agree
I
with
take
you.
it as a total. I think it is concerning that they lost those 3 games to the Pistons.
Sure.
I also understand the context behind it. They could have packed it up. They could have packed it up against OKC, and they didn't. And what they also showed, unlike the Cavs game, because the Cavs game I said they both stink, but the Cavs stank less. And that's why they were able to beat the Knicks. The Cavs stank a little bit less, right? They weren't efficient in this game. They didn't have they were facing the difficult OKC Thunder, and they had to fight through it. And they did. And they fought literally to the final second. Despite calls, despite runs, despite SGA hit a dagger, and they still had a chance to win.
And I thought that might have
Chet
been.
hit a dagger.
Yeah.
They scored 5 points in the final few minutes that it could. I remember when he hit the shots. Well, okay. All right. MVP.
I would like to make a note. We have a quote from Mike Brown. Mike Brown, who rarely ever says anything
This is about the officials.
about officiating.
Yeah, of course. How
Mike
much is the
Brown-
fine? How much is the fine for him? $50K?
I don't know.
He got it.
He kind of danced. He kind of smartly made his comment.
Okay, let's see.
Mike Brown on SGA when asked a question.
Oh, shit.
He's a tough cover and does a great job of convincing the referees that he's getting hit. Mike Brown, salute.
Finally,
Okay.
bro. Finally.
Mike Brown, who also got his
Finally.
first tech of the season in
Yes,
this game.
finally.
So that man was in playoff
You
mode for
gotta
this
fight
game.
for your players, dog.
Yeah, I like that.
Now what I want is for someone to ask Mark Dagnall about that quote directly, just to see if there's a response. I doubt it because coaches, they have a fraternity and they never want to talk shit about each other even when they clearly can. But I think I don't even think SGA that was the most egregious of the call no call situation. It's really the challenges are one thing, but there were other non-SGA related calls.
I just want to get the full quote on this. Shout out to our guy Chris Persianen of Clutch Points. He says SGA's tough cover does a great job of convincing the referees, probably better than anyone in the league, that he's getting hit. Them shooting 84% from the free throw line compared to our 73% was a factor throughout the course of the game.
That's true.
Now, I do want to say this, and I think we are all smart enough basketball fans. I want to note the right person in the chat. Agent Super Argo 5023. He or she said we lost because of missed free throws, nothing more. I do want to say missed free throws are a factor in this game. However, right, the Knicks missed 6 free throws in this game. I like to be fair.
They took how many?
22.
Okay.
Took half of them. Now, what Mike Brown's probably saying is, we took 22, and yes, we missed 6, but we probably should have had more. And
OKC
Or
was what?
maybe OKC should have had less.
or it had less.
What did they have?
They had 25, and they had 21 of 25.
Okay, that's not so ridiculous then.
No, but here's the thing. Let's go back to Jeff's point. I just want to bring something up. 'Cause I know some people.
No,
are
I just
gonna-
thought it was worse,
No,
the disparity.
Jeff made it. We all agree, and I hate to say it, you can argue this is the difference in the game. I don't like to bring things down to one play, but if you want to say this, you can. We all agree that was not an offensive foul on OG Anunoby.
It wasn't.
So there are 2 points.
The block that was.
There were
called a
2
charge.
points
Just block, hold the
and a
charge.
free throw attempt that never was. It's 3 points. I'm not saying it came down to that. I
No,
watched too much
would-
basketball to say
yeah.
that.
Yeah, because it's like the Tyrese Halliburton shot. Like the Knicks still had a chance to win it in overtime.
Right.
So they still had a chance to win the game after, even though they lost the other challenge afterward.
Right.
Or OKC won the other challenge afterward.
Which is
I
a
should say.
testament to them.
Yeah.
And the way
But
that they played.
even after that, it was like a 4 or 6 point game.
Yeah,
Right.
I think
So-
Mike Brown is more frustrated with the process of how the officiating went throughout the game.
I mean, he got his
which I
first
do
tech of the
understand.
season. That'll tell you enough.
And he talked about technical. He said
Stunned that he never got a tech before this.
on his first technical, he said, quote, one thing I want to get across to the guys is that we're good enough to win, despite whatever the officials are calling on the floor. We need to have that mentality.
He's right.
I love hearing that quote because we said this too. You got to play through the stuff you don't like with the refs. You got to show that tough mentality, and I think that's the point. That's the point for me out of this game. That's my major takeaway.
Facts.
You could talk about you didn't like the process, they didn't shoot well, and I always say bad shooting night's going to happen. Mentality. They were mentally tough in this game.
Very.
That's what I like. That's the biggest takeaway for me. When I think about this season, I think about this game, it's mental toughness. I'm a big believer that is a building block to wherever you want to go in any sport in a championship level. You have to show mental toughness at some point. You have to learn from a loss like this. You have to say, oh, okay, we saw how the refs called this. We have to download that information. Now how do we use this in our process the next time we get in a situation and somebody's getting a ticky-tack foul or something else has happened? What did you learn from this? Everybody wants the journey to be smooth and 81-1 or 82-0. It's not going to be like that. Sometimes your coach has to get mad and get a tech. Sometimes you got to learn the process. They never wavered. They never hung their heads. You didn't see bad body language. You saw fight, and you saw mental toughness, which we have criticized them for, and we did not see against Detroit. What was my annoyance in the last Detroit game?
Where was
the fight and the resistance? Not that I thought this team never fought. I didn't see it against that opponent.
Yeah.
Against what Jeff said, we all agree, OKC to me is a higher quality opponent. Right? They're the champs. The champs are the champs. They have mental toughness against the champs. I'm not into moral victories. I'm into the process of learning. And I think this is part of the process. And I think that's the major takeaway for me in the game. And I like that Mike Brown was giving that message. Yo, I'm going to go get this tech because we got to win and fight for what we want. And I'm fine with that.
I would have liked to have still seen fight against the Pistons, given that they're in your conference and, you know,
1,000%.
I have some matchup questions as it relates to that series, as we've talked about. But like, I think with this though, this absolutely felt like a team that can get to the finals and compete at that level, more so than most other games this season. Obviously, the Spurs in the NBA Cup is probably the ultimate example. Not to mention the most recent game, but the Spurs one was on the NBA Cup one was on neutral court.
Neutral court, single game elimination.
The only game on TV that night. That means something. You know, like they clear out the schedule for you when you're playing for the NBA Cup. There's nothing else on. There's no Thursday night football because it was on a Tuesday. There was nothing else on. All right, probably like some MAC football shit. I don't know. but like that's one of the best examples. Like, and you have like with this year, more so than last year, because we've talked about their struggles with like Boston and Cleveland last season and OKC as a matter of fact. This year, you've had more moments that you can point to, and it's like, okay, this is something I can see in the playoffs working. This is something I can see in the playoffs working. Tonight, even though it was a loss, and we mentioned a few of them earlier, the Houston game recently at home where they had that big comeback. The game against both games against San Antonio, as a matter of fact. The win in the NBA Cup final. And then you also had the win recently where you kicked their ass at Madison Square Garden. You had a couple games against Philly that were really good on the road at a time where you're hardly beating teams 500 or better while you're on the road. They were 1-11 at one point against teams 500 or better while on the road. Now they're 6-13. They're 5-2 of their last 7, and 4 of those wins were against Toronto and Philly because they beat them twice each. The other one was Boston. The Boston game on national TV where they beat them in Boston, and Boston's been playing really well. They just got their ass whooped by Charlotte at home today, but they've been playing really well nonetheless. So you have more performances you can kind of point to where they're putting it all together. And I think the frustration people have is that they're not doing it consistently. But in the playoffs, you have to do it enough. You're not going to do it every game, but you have to do it enough. The Pacers didn't play every single game as effectively as they did the last one, neither did OKC last year when they get to the finals. Like, there were some lulls, even in the Denver series, which OKC nearly lost. Like, it's going to be a roller coaster, but you're seeing them put together enough moments that gives you confidence in them, even in a loss like tonight.
Mike Brown also said more on the technical. You guys saw the play. SGA had 2 fouls. Jalen was there, and he ran them over. It was like the play they called on OG. I don't get why that was a no call.
Come
the
on.
Bucket should have counted.
Come on.
Talk.
Yo, what kind of glasses he wear? I don't know. Like, you know, you in the ball fraternity now, Dex. Do y'all got a special cream or lotion that y'all use to shine up your head or whatever?
I use, it's crazy, I'm forgetting the name of the brand I use.
Damn. Well, you know what? They ain't pay you, so don't say nothing.
This is
So,
true.
you know what I'm saying? They ain't pay you, so don't say nothing. All I'm saying, yo, Mike Brown deserves a gift basket. Real talk. No, we can't be just giving this away, right? You know what I mean? You want News Corp about to run in here and escort you out. You giving away free marketing. But yeah, man, like that. I think that is what fans have been looking for from Mike Brown. Like, yo, sometimes I don't want you to be the rational friend, man. You need to crash out. You gotta crash out at least so that I know that something affects you as viscerally as it affects me. And you gotta crash out.
And Jeff, I want you to talk more about that, because when we could talk about this in that moment where Mike Brown gets attacked, but what I hear you saying is you want to see him crash out. We're using that a little loosely, but because you believe it can have an impact on the team.
Yeah.
The players I'm talking about.
Yeah, like, you gotta fight for the players, and I'm not saying you gotta like cry like some other coaches every single play, but when something is egregious, you gotta call it out. Like, yes, I know you are friends with everybody. You are cool with everybody.
Fraternity.
But they gotta know. Like, you know what? That snaps them out of it. Oh, Mike Brown, I gotta call a tech on Mike Brown.
Yeah.
Well, what's going, Mike? What's going on? It's like, no, that's some bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, and even like the fake hold back. I appreciate the theater, right? Because Mike Brown ain't fighting
nobody fighting nobody.
Coaches do that. Coaches they'll get a tech, they'll get ejected just to fire up a team for the next game or the next play.
And the Knicks weren't at the point at that play
because that was early.
Needed that level of explosion. But he needed to get a tech. Because everyone in the we all saw it in 4K. I don't care how much you hate the Knicks. Even you gotta say, oh, the fix is in. You know, and then I said it in real time. When people start talking about and start joking about, oh, the FanDuel hit, the DraftKings hit.
We had somebody say that in the chat.
Like, the books came a calling. You know that the league and the partners don't want to have him out of there. That's when all that speculation starts rising. When something has played, the fact that that's not going to be in a 2-minute report or something where a ref has to answer. What were you cooking? What did you see?
Well, see, now you're talking about my issue with the 2-minute report.
So you saw SGA lay the shoulder in on Brunson, did not call the offensive foul, but yet with the help of replay, when this man, I think it was Kendrick Williams, excuse me, Kendrick Williams, was moving his feet.
Kenrich.
What is his name?
Kenrich Williams.
Kenrich Williams, right?
Yeah.
You're set. You can sway. That's what they say. Like, you could do this and you could still get the offensive.
Right.
But he moved his leg. So that, to me, you're still in motion.
Yeah,
even if your right foot is set, your left foot is still in motion. So that was an offensive foul. That was not an offensive foul. So how do you look at those two plays and get it mixed up? Even with the help of replay, how do you get that screwed up?
That's the tough part too. They screwed up with the help of replay.
Yeah.
Now look, man, I think he had to try to fire the team up. I think you're right. I think it does have an impact on the team. It does kind of give them a lot of energy. But I also think Mike Brown, the way he coached this game, nothing's perfect. I think people sometimes do too much with lineup and rotations. You saw Mohamed Diawara have a good stint in the first half and have big minutes. You saw the fact, and I called it at the beginning of the fourth quarter. He started that quarter with Brunson and Cat to try to steal minutes while SGA was on the bench. That was and it backs up what he says in his quote, that we were taking it seriously. This is a game we came here to win. I like it. I like it. We're here to compete. We need to show that we can compete at the highest level. Because I'm sure the guys, they've talked in the locker room, they know what happened against Detroit, like we all saw.
If we're talking about it, they're
talking about it. We got to compete against these teams. We got to show it. I think that, again, I will repeat, my biggest takeaway from this, and we could talk about it, and I'm sure we'll talk about it for a while. Now it's about what happens after this. They haven't lost. They're 15-5 in the last 20. How do they bounce back from it?
Which is great.
Which is a great run. The Knicks have been on a great run. I think a lot of the talk in the Knicks fan community has been marred by the two Pistons losses in there. Do I think that should overwhelmingly disregard what we've seen in this run? The defense was good again tonight.
I saw some people chirping after the Cavs lost too, even though that was the third game.
Third game of 4 nights. I didn't take as much into that game. Listen, I saw here, this was Shayna Patrick, 1777. Thank you for the comment. They definitely showed effort, but they have to play together. The offense seemed at times rough and disconnected. They work better when Brunson is off the ball and the ball is moving. Brunson had 15 assists.
OKC's defense is also really, really good.
Yeah. Well, here's
really
also
good.
something we were talking about, lineups and stuff like that. My guy XJ, Xavier J. Designs.
Shout out to
Twitter,
XJ.
Who has been one of the consistent proponents about the Knicks deploying a 5-out offense to start.
Mm-hmm.
And
start games.
To start games.
Okay.
So here's his tweet. Another game against a title contender that the Knicks starting five dig a hole the other lineups need to dig out of. The starting five versus OKC had a negative 35.7 net rating in 13 minutes, and versus the Spurs, negative 30 and a half in 14 minutes. When they play the elite, they're going to exploit their weaknesses, right? And I understand it because that was one of the biggest frustrations about last season too, that the starters would go out there, and I remember there was they played 10,000 minutes together last season, and they had a +3 net rating. For as much time as they spent together, for it to not be at least double digits was concerning. And then you play against teams that are going to do the ghost coverage and going to do all these things to disregard Hart because depending on the day of the week, he may not be a willing shooter. Remember what happened in that third. A few seconds into the third, Hart goes out because he's banged up. They bring in Landry Shamet. And what precedes a 32-14 run? If I've got this correct,
15-5 to close that quarter. Yeah, I remember
15-5 to third quarter. From 7:58 in the third to the end, they went on a 32-14 run plus 18, and like you said, a 15-5 to close it.
Yeah. After OKC opened the quarter, turning them over multiple times.
So
and
Jeff
they had to fight back from that.
But Jeff is opening the door for something here that we got to talk about. I don't disagree with XJ's point about them playing 5 out more. We had talked a lot in the beginning of the season, Bryan and I, about should Deuce McBride start, which a lot of the Knicks fan base has talked about. And now you're going to see some people, especially with Hart, and you said we love Josh Hart here, but sometimes his unwillingness to shoot hurts the team in the way people were playing with the ghost coverage, throwing bigs on him. Time to start Landry Shamet.
Oh,
especially against the elite.
Not the direction I thought you were going in.
Will Mike Brown, I called this an information gathering game. Will Mike Brown use the information of what he saw happen in that third quarter and say, we've got to get better starts with our starting unit?
Interesting.
Or closing.
Depends.
I would say it's but to Jeff's point is
it's matchup dependent.
It's matchup dependent
because I'm not starting Landry Shamet against the Pistons. Against Boston, maybe. I'm not doing it against Detroit. And I might not do it against Cleveland.
The starters haven't had great data together as a unit because of some of the.
Well, I wouldn't be starting Josh Hart anyway.
I know you wouldn't.
So.
Do you think this is something that Mike Brown could go to in the playoffs, matchup dependent, especially against the elite, and say we got to get better minutes out of our starting unit, so we got to tweak something there?
I don't think. To me, it's not even really a question because I feel like he'll do it. If Diawara did that in the second half, he closes the game probably. That's how Mike Brown is. You know what I mean? Or if he just has another stint like that, he'll close with him. I think he's just going to read and react to the situation. And the thing that's most different from Tibbs, we haven't mentioned him at all, is Mike Brown's not going to do the same thing from a closing lineup perspective from a day-to-day basis just because it's what I do. He's going to just
Which
change
I love.
it.
I personally love that.
Now, there's some gambling that comes into that because sometimes
but everything's a gamble. You got to take chances.
Right, but sometimes you can pull the wrong lever. There's advantages and disadvantages to both. In one instance, if you close with the same 5, it's this is who I trust, this is who I know I can rely on, and then if guys get hurt, then you make adjustments from there. And the other way, it's you can change things, as Jeff said, too much maybe. And that's been has he been too experimental this year? It's something that we've talked about a little bit. So I don't think there's a wrong answer, and I think this team probably needed the latter more than the former after the former did what it did last year, especially after Game 1 in that Pacers series where the series just kind of metastasized from there. But I think in this particular era of this team, if you want to call it that, with Josh Hart, if he's unwilling to take the 3, and if it continues to crater the offense early on, it's something you have to look at. But you have 6 weeks. You have 5 or 6 weeks until the playoffs. You have to use this time to do it. This road trip is actually a decent test for that because you're going to have 5 games on the road consecutively. Granted, the last 2 are against cupcakes who are tanking. But you still have Denver, who is obviously championship material. They've been struggling with their health. Aaron Gordon's probably going to be back. What a coincidence. And then you have the Lakers and Clippers. The Lakers are whatever, but they have an offense you have to respect, and 3 players you really have to respect. And then the Clippers have been playing really well. They're 23-10 in their last 33 games, however many months that lasts. The Clippers actually look like they can be in the playoffs this year.
Yeah. No,
Assuming they don't get Pablo Torre.
I am in the camp of, sure, things can go too far and experimental, but I'd rather see you go down swinging, trying different things, than continuously banging your head against the wall doing the same thing. I know there's comfort in consistency. I get that. But sometimes comfort can lead to complacency, and that does not get you to where it is that you need to go. I agree with you that this group needed this kind of change. They needed the kind of coach in Mike Brown, and I think people didn't value that.
Or just for Tibbs to do it, but he didn't do it. He wasn't going to do it.
Some people are stubborn in their ways. I love Tibbs as a coach and what he did for the Knicks, but sometimes to get to the next level, this could be at any job, and I always bring sports back to being a job. You sometimes got to get the leadership in. It's like, yo, we're trying to take you here.
And we'll see
and
if
we
it
have
works.
to do things in
We
a different way.
won't know if it'll work
I
till the
don't know
spring.
if it'll work, but we know it didn't work doing it one way. And so the third quarter mattered. This is the point I'm making overall.
Right.
Yeah.
Despite the loss, the third quarter mattered because you got really good information from this. If you're a fan, you got really good information that I think about this team, which is, yo, against the elite, we know they could fight.
Yeah.
And I want to be very clear about what I'm saying about the elite, because I don't want to say that Detroit, who's played like an elite team this year, against the established elite. And what I mean by that is elite has been to the mountaintop. Like, OKC's literally been to the mountaintop. They've been through the fire, right? They've gone through rounds and won rounds in the playoffs. They've lost. They know what it's like. Detroit knows what it's like to lose. They've got one round in the playoffs. They don't know what it's like to win two. They don't.
I know.
They don't.
I'm not
that doesn't mean
I'm not disrespecting Detroit.
That don't
but I
mean they
know.
have natural problems for there.
I know.
I saw the homie Tarika Foster Brasby the other night, and she was still talking her talk.
Yeah.
And I understand.
I get it.
I understand. But I think this is good. But we do have, before we get up out of here, we do have some plays to look at, some things we would have liked or didn't like. The first thing I'd like to see, guys, if you show me, because it's just going to make everybody mad, can we look at that OG charge again? Because I'm not saying it's the full difference in the game. I'm just saying Stevie Wonder could see that was wrong.
He actually can, according to some people. Conspiracy theory,
Listen.
but
Listen.
Don't do it.
don't do it. We're waiting for the play. We got time.
What, you think Stevie could see?
I think, you know how they say other senses are heightened
Yes.
when you don't have one?
Right.
What if you have them, though, and they're still heightened? That would make you
Yo.
a metahuman.
Yo. Yo.
Y'all seen Daredevil. Maybe he has the radar.
Yo.
Because, listen, man.
Yo, there's too
man.
many stories of him. There's too many stories of was it Joe Budden who said that he told him something in the elevator, like something happened, and then Stevie Wonder was like, "Yo, you seen that, right?" Like so something like that. Like,
Dave Chappelle had some story like this too with him. And almost, I'm not saying there's slander. There will be no Stevie slander.
No, it's not slander.
Not for
I'm like, I'm impressed.
The man who made songs in the key of
Bro,
life. One of my
You
favorite
can't be that
albums.
talented and then tell me, like, you can't tell me what I'm seeing ain't happening. I'm just saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. That's all I'm saying. And it's even more impressive if this is just jokes. But if you want to talk about being a truther.
Listen, I want to be very clear. Stevie Wonder is, to me, one of the great musicians of all time.
Yeah,
I'm a
irreplaceable.
big Stevie Wonder fan.
Indelible.
Played a lot in my house growing up. But I just don't want to believe that Stevie was out here lying to the people.
I don't think he's lying. But I think something is happening.
You're laughing.
I don't think he's lying. I don't think he's lying. But I believe, hey man, is Spider-Man lying? When people ask him if Peter Parker, if he's Spider-Man, he says no. Technically, he's not.
No,
but
he's
there's a
protecting
reason.
himself.
It's protection.
So you're saying Stevie Wonder's out here protecting the powers, his powers.
Listen, man.
The Daredevil comp is an interesting one.
Taking off his glasses is like a luchador losing their mask. It's cultural. You're supposed to respect the culture. If you try to remove, you're dastardly. You're vile. You're a villain. So.
or
you know what I'm saying?
you're Rey Mysterio.
Or
and they
you're Rey
just-
Mysterio,
And they just
you know what
forgive
I'm
you,
saying?
and then you put it back, and then it's all fine.
You're hilarious. We gotta watch this block.
We do, but I won't believe what you just told me. Let's look at this block again. Look, man.
So I'll shoot like $1 of bail. In real time, I can see how somebody's like, "Oh, he got knocked over."
Yeah, I was
because
just gonna say.
from the straight up angle,
see that.
it looked like he went in. But when you slow it down,
Which
one,
they
two,
do.
move. So now,
The
are
left
you
foot
trying
moved.
to tell me that because he moved his foot and locked? See, here's the thing.
Look at his left foot.
His foot is still moving.
Yep.
As OG's in the air, that's the key part.
Yes.
As OG's in
As
the
OG's
taking
in the
off,
air move.
yeah.
And then that's supposed to be the foul you call to protect the offensive player from people sliding in at
Right.
the last moment.
Right. Right. That's to stop their great pause there by our
Right.
team. And once OG goes again, you see, watch that left foot, folks. Watch the and look, his you know, they always say your heel's got to be set on the ground. It's not for him.
Nope.
The right foot's still off the ground, so he's not set. Right? OG now is still 1 foot on the floor. He's about to become airborne. And the other foot, the left foot still moved.
Still move.
Still moved.
Yeah.
That you're 100% right. That's not protecting the offensive player, and I don't care if y'all say Stevie Wonder out here with the heightened senses. He still could have seen that.
It's not even a bang bang play. It's just late.
Right.
Like he's just late.
I also think you have to give the off, and I know the offensive players get a lot. When it comes to when it comes to those charges where these players are giving up their body to slide under you
Yeah.
to draw a foul, where you can put yourself in harm's way.
Yeah.
If the offensive player makes a concerted effort to avoid the contact and they graze your shoulder, and even look at that.
Yeah.
He moved his arm into OG.
Terrible.
Not only was
Terrible.
his leg moving, his thank you. Not only is his leg moving, when you see the overhead shot, he's putting his arm out. Look at his left arm. Watch his left arm when he goes in.
Yeah.
He throws the shoulder to make the contact.
Just enough.
How are we
Yeah.
seeing this on replay and they saw it and said, give it to the other team?
Yeah,
You know,
'cause-
I hate losing the blue and orange derby, man. I hate losing
I gotta
the
call
blue and
that
orange
versus.
derby.
We're gonna if they get there in the finals, we gotta
Yeah,
use
it's gonna be the
that.
blue and orange derby. It's
derby.
gonna be
I like that.
Yeah, it's gonna be the blue and orange derby, man.
I like that there. We're gonna look at some other plays here. We do have a comment in the chat. Saduk Barry he said, "Why DR don't play enough? Let DR, my homeboy, play."
In some cases, I feel like we could probably do a lot, but today I thought he earned more minutes. I thought he earned a few of Josh Hart's minutes before
I think
Josh
he could have
Hart got
started
shelled.
the fourth.
I
At least
I think,
started the
yeah.
fourth.
Yeah.
Would have I like 3 more minutes for
Did he
DR
play in the
Warren?
third quarter?
He played a little bit.
A little bit, in the
barely.
third.
But
I
it
think
was
third.
it was
And then they used Sohan.
it was getting a little shaky. It was getting a little shaky with his minutes. Like
He had that one bad turnover when they could have took the
strip.
lead. The
Yeah,
strip.
You can't
in
play
the
him 20 minutes a night yet. You know what I mean?
No, but
Like,
13, and he was 9. He was 3 or 4 from downtown.
he was going crazy in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen,
But you again, still.
the process was good for the young man
he
tonight.
played 3
You have to-
minutes in the third.
Yeah, you have to
He
pick
played
your
3
spots
minutes
with
in
him.
Played 3 minutes in the third?
Yeah,
You have to
but,
pick your
but
spots
he
with
was
him still.
also a part of that. Funny enough, he was a +3 in those 3.5 minutes. So
he was on the
still
run.
he still was positive in his minutes, but there were some plays where I could see Mike Brown saying, "Damn, I need some experience here. We're gonna make this dent. I need a little bit of experience." I think if they would have been down by like double digits, maybe you bring him back in to like start gunning from beyond the arc. But
Yeah.
He played well. I'm glad they found minutes for him and he took advantage of it too.
Yeah.
He's in general lately. He's playing well.
He's playing well. He's playing
He's
with
playing well.
confidence.
He
And I
keeps
think,
hitting his over.
I think playing him being at 13 minutes, 9 points, a +3 on the court tonight, that against what I call established elite team like OKC, I think that only helps his confidence going forward. Yeah,
I don't know if I'm gonna keep letting you like
Yeah.
establish a lead team.
It's- you know,
only because
I-
only because in the second apron era, like you can't keep teams together that long. You know,
Hey, you're established for the moment. That's all. That's all
so
that matters.
it's just them then, right?
No, I would put, because of their medal and having recently won a championship,
Boston?
I'm still going to put a Boston.
Okay.
I'm still going to put Denver in that category.
Okay.
Their
That's it.
experience matters.
So that's it.
I'm saying experience matters. Let me change that. I'm going to do it with 3 E's. Experienced, established elites is what I'm talking about.
I feel like there's an oxymoron in there somewhere, but it's fine.
Triple E. Anyway, we're gonna look at some plays from the third quarter. We're gonna start with the Knicks transition bucket that they had in the third quarter. It was big. It led to a timeout. made it 67-61. We're gonna look at a bunch. There were some good plays by the Knicks in that third quarter we got to talk about because the Knicks really showed a lot of fight. And the process off of this, off the miss, Cat. This all starts with Cat, man.
Good pitch.
Elite pass. Woo! That was a good pass from Jose, who did not give me 4+ assists, only had 2. But it was just a good, That's a great point
Defense,
starting there.
good to test.
I think Bridges turns this into an alley-oop.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't, then he runs the risk of maybe overrunning it,
SGA
maybe he gets
dogging
blocked.
it. SGA dogging it like, oh, he's running.
Yeah, in order for him to get this layup off in time, he has to basically turn it into an alley-oop there. So that was really smart.
That's one of his patented moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's a good cutter, man. He cut to the right spots, right to the middle of the floor. SGA wasn't running hard. That's just a dime by Alvarado. But that key starts with Cat getting that rebound and then being able to just get it out quickly. That was so key by him to start that play. Also, I think it was a great point you mentioned Shamet on the contest. That was a really good contest by Shamet. But
this lineup was cooking for them, by the way.
It was. This lineup was cooking. And you see that. Look, everybody's watching the ball.
Yeah, look at SGA.
And SGA is just not. SGA
Wiggins
just fell asleep.
Wiggins is jogging too. I feel like if Jared McCain's there, I know Wiggins is
It might make it a tougher pass, but.
Yeah, Wiggins pulls up there. SGA just kind of slowly gets back. Mikal Bridges is smart to read that and take advantage of it. That's the key thing. It's Mikal Bridges actually doesn't quit on the play. And sometimes offensively, you get on him for his consistency. He had a great game against the Spurs. He had one of his best games, I think, recently in this one too, just from a two-way standpoint. But really on offense, it felt like he was in the right spot over and over and over again. And they needed that tonight.
Could we also, guys, if we could, we also had the Knicks, they tied up the game. They had a huge steal that helped tie up the game because their defense also came alive in this third quarter, and it was really impressive as well, too.
Got an interesting comment after that, by the way.
That we'll check as well, too. But, yeah, the Knicks, their defense really came up big time, and this trap here was beautiful. OG read that looking like a young Ed Reed. And then jammed it in. Shout out to Sean with a W. That's the only time you'll get a damn Baltimore Ravens reference from me.
Jets legend.
Here.
Ed Reed.
I'll go with that. Shout out to Brunson here, because this is what the Knicks hadn't been doing left, right? Force your guy to the sideline.
Yep.
Great help by Bridges. And then
Sohan's in the right place, too. He goes up to pressure the passer there.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Look at SGA's face when he throws the pass. Look at the expression.
He's like,
real
damn,
quick.
I got to get it somewhere.
Because he doesn't see OG. The minute he sees him, he says, OG!
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, that's
He's like, damn.
Literally the last guy you want to be throwing that to in the open
That's
court.
one of those, oh, you were closer than I thought.
Yeah.
That's all on SGA. SGA's not, Brunson and Bridges forced that pass.
They did.
But SGA got himself into that corner. He needed a bailout.
Yeah, I'm sure Mark Dagger will tell you, why'd you dribble there to this? You made this, as Clyde would say, you made the sideline an extra man.
Yep.
But it's great recognition by Bridges to help on that trap. And that was an easy bucket. And we talked about this at halftime. They had to get easier buckets. The Knicks didn't have a great offensive night, but they got some easier buckets in the second half. And look, defense turned to offense on this one. And you're right, Bryan. Sohan, great job, because he was taking away the pass there to Wiggins.
Yeah.
Sohan really took that away. So once he went in the air, Cardinal sin of basketball, he had nowhere to go.
He pumped towards Wallace, too.
And he was like, nope, got to get it off.
That's why Sohan played up.
Yeah, look, he's looking at Wallace right there.
Yeah.
Look at his eyes. He's looking at Wallace.
And Sohan is right there. He's where he's supposed to be. You don't want him to come up too high because look at where he is. Because Wallace could just
look at that.
burn
He's
him back door.
Right now, this is the point where he's stressed.
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, I can make this pass.
If anything, Casey Wallace has to be there earlier because you have nobody else supporting on the other side.
Right.
You have nobody else cutting around Landry Shamet, nobody coming through the middle because OG is filling in there. So you have nothing else. I mean, SGA would take this play back if he could, I'm sure, if you asked him.
sure.
He'd probably blame himself for it, too, and he should.
Damn,
it was a terrible pass,
That
but
was like
still.
a pass we've seen a Jets quarterback make plenty of times.
And that's Bridges is known for those clutch defensive plays. That's another one where they just read that's one that you run in the film study and say this is how we do it every single time.
Yeah.
And for people who were criticizing Mike Brown's rotations, I thought that was a perfect use of Sohan. And I saw it when he had it for that last minute and a half.
agree.
I said, yeah, you want to mitigate any type of offensive impact from the Thunder and possibly stifle them. So you want to get your best defensive guys out there, especially because Hukporti was kind of so-so. It's like, all right, Sohan, we know he plays defense. And if Hukporti ain't getting no touches, then you're not really losing anything on offense with Sohan. So just put him in.
Yeah, and you have a lineup with OKC where Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams, is your center, who is hardly bigger than Jeremy Sohan. Just 6'8", 6'9". They're roughly the same size. Jeremy Sohan also, in putting him in just that short stint and just short stints in general, you get to mitigate the offense because you don't want other teams to be like, all right, let's let him shoot. You know, you only get a few possessions of Jeremy Sohan offense that you have to survive through too. So I think that's smart also because you don't want other teams to be like, all right, we'll put a center on him. He'll have to shoot threes. Treat him basically like Josh Hart, except that's a shot that you want less of.
I think that's a great point. We're going to look at some other plays. You said there was a comment you thought we should get to.
Yeah, the most recent one.
This is from Janky Jimenez.
Come on,
Sorry.
bro.
Yeah, I got to be better at that. My bad.
Come on.
There's the only Jimenez is in the high schools, in the middle schools. And, you know what I mean?
Oh,
There's no
they
Jimenez.
did used to do that. I remember
Jimenez.
now. Yeah, they would call when they would call people on the loudspeaker for like detention and shit. They would always say Jimenez instead of Jimenez. That would piss me off.
Jorge Jimenez.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, yo, that's not my name, fam.
Yeah, I hated that.
You were getting called on the loudspeaker for detention?
No, never.
Oh, okay.
I surprisingly,
This is surprising.
I'm better. I was better behaved in school than I was at home.
Huh.
You know.
Huh.
Hey, parents gotta pick and choose their battles. Oh wow.
I feel like you and
Time and place.
our technical director Nikolai, very similar experience. Yeah.
Yeah, like in school, I was fine. Other than the 2 times I got suspended for fighting, I was fine. But all the flagrant fouls in high school. But still, like otherwise, I was great. But at home, I drove my parents nuts.
I could see that. Jackie, not Jimenez. Captain seemed hesitant to shoot tonight. Seemed to me like he can't really handle back-to-backs.
Who?
Talking about Brunson.
Back-to-backs.
Can't handle.
Would I play him less in back-to-backs down the stretch of the year? I mean, depending on the competition, maybe. Like, would I sit on one of the LA games, maybe?
He don't want to sit though.
But yeah, and also it's like you kind of don't want to send that message with him now. He's not 30 yet. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even think it's that. I think this is more of an OKC specific thing because, again, you have so many guys who can throw on Brunson to try and slow him
They're
down.
a great defensive
Like
team.
Alex Caruso, they're built to stop a guy like Jalen Brunson. They give Donovan Mitchell fits every time they play the Cavs. I don't know if people notice that.
They do.
But like Donovan Mitchell, if they play each other in the finals, that's when you're going to have to see Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, and James Harden step up. Like they can win, I think, multiple playoff series with that core, but against OKC, I'm not going to say they're drawing dead, but they make it hard for the smaller guards. And they have Caruso, they have Dort, they have even Isaiah Joe, they have Shea, they have Case and Wallace, they have so many guys. Jay, who's not even playing.
Not
You know,
even playing, bro.
Like you have so many guys. That's true. Their second best player wasn't even in the game. They have so many guys that they could just throw on a guy like Jalen Brunson where it's just going to make it tough. And to his credit, again, one of his best playmaking games that we've seen him have as a Knick.
And sometimes a great offensive game can be had without shooting the ball well. I think we always looked too many times at bucket scoring. He was 5 of 18. He didn't shoot the ball well. But I don't think he played out of the flow of the game. Maybe there's a couple shots you could say in the fourth quarter was a little hero ball-ish. But he had 15 assists. So
He's had more egregious offense.
For the critics, and sometimes he deserved to be criticized, but for the critics, they will say that he doesn't pass the ball. If this is not your game, this isn't the game.
Yeah, this isn't the one to make your point because he played within the flow. Like it's what you ask of him,
right?
Making the pass. Like there's stuff that he has to clean up, but as you saw in this game, there is no perfect superstar. SGA was wilding. SGA was actually wilding in that game. Like he should have been sitting with 3 fouls. Like SGA was wild. Mind you, you had the night off last night.
Yeah, he did.
So let's contextualize this game. SGA and Caruso rested. The whole Knicks squad played last night.
And Isaiah Hartenstein rested too.
Oh,
He didn't play.
SGA, Ihart, Caruso. All rested. So they had 3 players of their core come into this game without the Sega Baba stigma, right? So They went up against that. They went up against egregious calls. They were down 7 with like under a minute and made this a one-shot game. A one-shot game where they could have been fouled down 3 to turn this into a free throw game, and was able to execute multiple plays where they had a chance to at least tie the game, right? So when you put that all into consideration, when they could have chalked it up multiple times, and they didn't even have one of their best shooting games, but they were able to sustain with a total team effort and this defense, which now I think you have to consider legit.
Yeah.
I think you have to consider
The 20 game
defense legit.
sample's too strong.
Oh, by the way, Mitch Robb didn't play. Deuce didn't play. 2 rotation players out versus 1.
And the defense has gotten better with Mitch Robinson still not playing back-to-backs, with Deuce not being here for most of this stretch.
Jose helps.
Jose does help,
A lot.
Yeah.
but also I think it can help more when you get the defense. I agree. Bryan and I recorded something that's coming out tomorrow, but the defense, I think it's fair to say you need to see more from it in the playoffs and consistently against elite, how it looks. But I think that the schematic changes they've made and the effort is real.
This is the most encouraging stretch.
Yeah, it's the most encouraging stretch. You don't do this for 20 games and hold 11 teams 100 points or less. That's not fake. And you did this against some good teams. You held the Spurs to 100 points. You held
Sixers
OKC to
twice.
103.
I think Sixers twice or once.
Sixers once.
Boston
once.
OKC was 103. Houston was like 106. They're not a good offense.
Yeah.
They are lately, actually.
There's a lot.
Since that game,
If I
they've been
probably looked at
better.
it at 110 and under, that number might be out of the 20 games. If I had to guess,
Yeah.
it's probably like 14 or 15.
Like this is the most encouraged you have to be by their defense. Basically, since Tibbs was there, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think that's. I don't think.
With Mike Brown. Yeah.
I don't think that's crazy to say.
You know?
Speaking of defense, good segue here. We got to talk about what the captain did, because one of the things, I don't remember which one of you said it. I think it was you, Bryan. The best thing he does defensively is taking charges.
Yep.
And in the third quarter,
Small recognized
he
small.
had a big charge call that he got, and it was huge for the Knicks defensively. I called this possession, I thought it was one of their best defensive possessions of the night.
Yeah.
Because look at the rotations here. They were rotating everywhere here, right? That's a great closeout by Bridges.
Excellent closeout.
And
Boom.
that's what makes it there. Bridges' effort on that closeout, and I know people are going to look at Bridges, and I'm going to pull up his numbers real quick just so I say this right here. 15 points on 6-17 shooting. He didn't shoot the ball that well. But he's been playing really good defense these last 3 games. Everybody
Discount that side of the court.
OG gets Cat off of SGA before this, by the way. And then here's where, like, it was a bad pass that really gives Mikal the avenue to just close out like that, and then Brunson has the timing. Like, they're able to take advantage of just a slight mistake. Like, they have a slight opening there. Because if that's a good pass, that shot goes up. The pass wasn't good from Lou Dort. Then here, play it again.
But that pass wasn't good because
look at Cat. Look at
because
Cat.
of Mikal.
So he switched. OG's like, nah, get the fuck out of here. I got this. And then Cat is on Isaiah Hartenstein. So everyone's where they should be now. And Mikal Bridges, like, he rotates, drives him to the corner, and right where Jalen Brunson's right there. Like, this is just great. Like, rotation after rotation. This is before the run, because they fell behind by 13 at this point, and we're already a few minutes into the third quarter. So it's like, yo, if you're gonna go on a run, you have to go on it. This kind of helped spark that, because they went on a run like immediately after.
But see right here, Bridges coming over, right here, because Brunson's beat. He gets beaten. The good pass by Hartenstein. Bridges coming over to close out on Dort and just get a little bit of a hand in there to turn. That's what makes the pass, right? Dort's like, I might be out of control here.
That should have been a bad. I don't even know how this pass was that bad. But all right, I mean,
But I think it's because he had to make that turn. It should have been a better pass.
It looked
I
like
agree.
Bridges hit the ball.
yeah,
there.
maybe
He might have.
Like he was disrupted enough that I could see why that wasn't a dime. Also, you're relying on Lou Dort off the dribble to throw a dime to the corner, right? It's
God
just
bless.
what it is. That's
God
not.
bless.
That's not.
I mean,
bad.
it's like a screen pass though. It's like right. I understand, but
It wasn't like he drove and then kicked
Yeah,
it like
yeah,
it was
yeah.
practice.
Yeah.
He tried to go up for the shot and saw the resistance, and then last minute was like, "All right, let me get this out. Let me get this out of here."
Casey Wallace
Right, like,
cuts
look.
around too.
Yep.
I want to see. Yeah.
Catches it,
That's the only play they could have made too, because Shamet was covering Case and Wallace on the opposite corner like really well.
Yeah,
actually.
the rotations on this play, it's great. This is communication, what it comes down to it. And this is great communication and reps of seeing it. This is fantastic. And I thought it was one of the best defensive possessions of the night. They got everything they wanted, and they rotated really, really well.
Yeah, look at Shamet, knowing where to be. And also, he's there to help off of Isaiah Hartenstein just in case, although Cat has it. Like, Cat's position, he's actually fine here. He's perfectly fine there. Then comes the bounce pass.
Yep.
So Lou Dort's going to get it here, and then he just has to hit this pass, and then you have the open shot. But Mikhail's active.
Yeah,
like
I think Mikhail really might have deflected that.
He was doing it. It's hard to tell from that angle, but maybe that would make more sense. And then here, Isaiah Joe, either you put the shot up or you kind of have to move quickly because you only have 8 seconds left. Now 6, 5, and then Brunson just gets into the spot.
But I think Bridges.
He was there much earlier than Kenrich Williams.
I think Bridges hasn't gotten enough credit for this, guys. He did a great job of closing out without any chance of fouling. When Bridges is at his best on rotations like that, he's really doing well. He closed out. It wasn't even a chance of him fouling, and he had to give that ball up. So it was really good. We got a couple more plays to look at. One more here is, man, I thought this was the best Brunson pass of the night. Jeff and I were talking about Brunson has to be better recognizing the role man. We had this critique during the game of him, and I do agree with Jeff on this. But at the end of that third quarter, when they needed a shot, game is tied at 77. Brunson did not recognize the role man, who was Shamet, and made a brilliant pass that we're going to see here. And it was good defense by OKC here, but to make that pass right to the corner for Bridges. Great catch from Bridges and a finish. I mean, when he makes his pass and Bridges hits his shot, I was like, yo, they're going to win this game.
Bridges
They wanted this one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted this one bad. Like, what a fake. Looked them off,
Yeah.
and hit the back. He tricked who was
Aaron
that?
Wiggins.
Wiggins.
Yeah.
Wiggins thought because he was staring down Shamet.
That he was going there.
Yeah,
And then McCain has to recover, and he actually does a decent job considering the time he has. But
Damn, I
that
guess,
should have been Wiggins.
guess Daryl Morey didn't see that on the tape.
Daryl Morey
see
catches several
Now,
strays.
and not for nothing, this was like Mahomes-esque, where Mahomes will be looking down one way and throw it somewhere else.
2 years
and then
ago.
a dime. I mean, I'm talking vintage.
Maybe longer.
Vintage.
Right?
Our editor Wesley Splain, who's a Broncos fan, is going to hate that.
I mean,
No, he ain't.
we can't say it's
Ain't
Bo
Bo Nix?
Nix-esque.
Yeah.
You know.
It ain't that. It ain't that.
I happen to agree. But this
It
was,
would be Bo Nix-esque if he was running to his right and then he made the pass.
I'll tell you what looked more like Bo Nix. That turnover we saw from Shea Gilgeous-Alexander earlier, that looked more like him.
Come on.
So he
Before
sees-
West comes in here, all right?
He sees Bridges in the corner and sees Wiggins playing that free safety role. Landry is wide open.
Yeah.
He baits
So
him.
the minute he baits him with the look, one step, ball going towards Landry. So if I'm Wiggins, I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta scramble, or at least I'm trying to stay in that middle area to be able to recover.
He should stay
on
right
Bridges.
there, actually. He overcommits.
Yeah.
And not for
He
nothing.
bit.
Not for nothing. OG is kind of open here on the other side. The only difference is SGA probably has a decent chance at closing him out here.
Exactly.
So this is the better play anyway. I mean, obviously, it's one of his best passes of the million assists that he had tonight. Like,
Yeah. Of the many assists he had, it was his best pass.
It could have
of the
even
night.
been slightly better, but
Still, it could have been a little bit on the money. So that was a great catch by
good hands.
by Bridges. But yo, McCain, he saw that his life flashed before his eyes.
He was like, oh shoot, I gotta get there.
Ricky! He heard the saxophones, bro. He heard the saxophones and was trying to stop it before it happened.
Oh, I love a good Boys in the Hood reference.
because Wiggins was out of position. McCain had to cover for him.
Yeah, no, that was an absolutely great play, and I think that'll lead us to the last video we'll look at tonight, which is what did the Knicks do right or wrong in the final play of the game, right? Like what on this final play of the game, they get the shot, and you know that they could foul. I mean, a quick look. I mean, that's a good look.
You're not gonna get much better than that in those circumstances.
Man,
Both
if he
of
was a
those.
step, if he turned,
24 feet instead of 26.
yeah, that was cash. First of all, yo, were they playing straight up, or did Case Wild just go up because he saw the shot go up?
Yeah, run that back, actually. That's a great point. Let's see.
Were they playing straight up? Because
Before the pass.
before the pass,
Before the inbound.
Por favor. Yes. Let's run it here. Oh, great pick.
That's a great pick by OG. I didn't even catch that there.
Yeah.
Good deflection from
By
Bridges.
Wow, they got bailed
OG
out
got
there.
a great look. He's so
Yeah.
mad.
Kenrich didn't even close out right away.
That
either.
was Dante.
He
That
couldn't.
was the Dante game,
Game
2
two.
against the Sixers.
Which was amazing. You were in the building for that one, right? Yeah, I
What?
remember we were in the building that night. Yeah.
Ground
What a
was
night.
shaking,
I
bro.
never heard the Garden that loud.
Yo, I've never experienced that in my life. I
either.
was standing still.
Yeah.
The
It was-
ground
I
was
remember.
moving under me.
I remember.
Like the ground was jumping. The garden literally was jumping.
I agree. That's the loudest I've heard it in the Garden. That was a great night. But you're right. It's very similar to that tap out by Hartenstein. And then that was one of the loudest I've ever heard in the
Like,
Garden.
yo, Bridges thought it was line.
Nah,
Like, they all thought it was line. Like, it was on line. It was just, you know what it was? When he caught the ball, his momentum took him.
It was
to that
taking him
spot.
back. That's
Yeah.
why it was short.
Yeah, he faded.
That's literally why it was short.
It's like, 2, and he had time, too.
Yeah,
but
that's-
I'm not going to kill him for that.
He had
Like,
time to probably take a dribble to gather
He had
himself.
a time for a dribble. But I'd rather him shoot it how he feels the most comfortable. It's last second YOLO.
If he dribbles, they probably have a chance to close out on him. Is
Right.
the other thing. Like
That's a
like
good point.
Kenrich Williams probably gets there. Cause watch how he gets the ball here. He's 2 seconds. I don't even know
Not
if he
even
has
his
time to
hand with
dribble.
2 seconds. You
Yeah.
might not be right. Might be time to dribble.
Yeah, he probably does it. And then even if
Nah,
he
he could've
does,
took a quick
like
dribble.
Kenrich is closing out on him. Case and Wallace might be too actually.
It's a great
because
look.
at this point you have to sell out. Like there's nothing else OG can do.
So also, shout out to Jalen for fading back to the 3-point line.
Didn't stay in the corner.
So if OG caught it and swung it back to him to get one more chance.
Oh, did he have that pass before when he
I
caught it?
mean,
Let's see.
at this point, I can't kill him for it.
It's hard that
let's
moment.
see.
But did he? How you
Oh,
see
no,
it
he
there?
did.
No,
He
fake. He fake had it because
Yeah, yeah.
Casey Wallace was
Wallace was
playing.
right
He didn't have
there.
enough
He
time.
would have did some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already see that already. But yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
Look, he got his
I
feet
take
set.
that.
You can't
I
ask for
take that.
anything else. You had 2 good looks.
Yeah.
In a situation where in the NBA you rarely get looks like this down the stretch against a team like this too.
Exactly.
Like
Watch
you got
Bridges.
2 good looks.
Bridges would have put it on the parlay. Bridges had the parlay. Bridges had the parlay and said, "Ah!"
Oh man! Listen, what we got about our seat, we thought there was a chance
I
here.
thought it was.
I
thought
thought when
leaned
he got,
forward, I was like, yo,
I
we're
thought
gonna
it was
have
going
overtime.
in.
Because it was online. Like even
Yeah.
from here, you could see. Not even on some hopium. Like once he put it up.
You're like,
Yeah, you see the form locked in. He takes the shot. He was cashing the shot the whole game.
yeah, you see his reaction after he lets
Look,
it go, and it's
look
short.
at the arc. That was on point. That was on point.
Just short.
Just short. It was when it started coming down low. I was like,
Yeah.
we're gonna get the bounce.
It reached the high point a
Yeah.
half
a
second too early.
little bit
Like,
more, and we get
just
the
early.
humble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We get the
They
humble.
Yeah, you almost get the bounce.
OG
just
wanted
not
that
enough.
one. That would have been a moment for the Garden, and I'm
Yeah.
telling you, man.
But I'm gonna keep it real.
yeah,
5 more minutes of this.
I know.
Like the way it was going, I think maybe
Knicks-
for the sake of both teams, they have to get out of there because I didn't trust the refs. I don't trust anybody else with 5 more minutes, bro.
Back to back
Wait, who
also.
collapsed on the floor? Was that Aaron Wiggins who collapsed on the floor at the end? Hold
me
on.
see.
what was that?
He's with Shamit right there.
Yeah.
He's
hold
under the
on.
basket now.
So he's what? Oh,
Check got hit in the face.
yeah, he got hit in the face. So he's looking. Oh, that was Chet that collapsed
Nah,
after he got hit in the
because
face.
he got
Yeah,
hit.
he got hit in the face.
Chet, he was out of the play after that.
I'm telling you, everybody was like, yeah, I wish it could have been a 4-point shot because it's time to go home.
Yeah, man.
It was time to go home.
Look, I think for the Knicks, you got 2 great looks on this, and I even think just getting the way Bridges was able to tap that offensive rebound just speaks a lot to the effort that you saw tonight. Jackie Jimenez says, out of all the Eastern Conference teams, I think our Knicks matches up the best against OKC, the Spurs, and the Nuggets. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
I
don't
can't
disagree with that.
convincingly give you somebody else who matches up better than 3 of. Like I can't definitively say it's Detroit or Boston or Cleveland as much as I respect those teams.
Wait, didn't who got ran by OKC's second unit? Was that the Pistons, right? Or the Pistons beat them? It was
Pistons
they
beat
ran the Cavs. They ran the
Cleveland.
Cavs
It was
with their
Cleveland.
second unit, and,
Yeah.
and the Pistons just got by them.
Yeah.
At home, and they
At
lost to them.
home,
And they lost to them in San Antonio. I mean, excuse me, in
OKC,
OKC.
right?
The Pistons lost to San Antonio at home.
At home, yes.
That's what it was. Too.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it probably is the Knicks.
Yeah.
Ironically,
Problem is you got to get out. the East.
right. That's the thing. I think they match up better with those teams than the teams in their own well, at least one team in their own
One
conference.
team, I would say.
Cleveland, I want to see again, because again, I do think the Harden and Garland thing. There's a difference there.
Oh yeah. No,
There's-
they're lit. They're lit now, but I think it's fair to say none of this matters until you see the postseason for them, for the Cavs as an organization, and for James Harden. So
Yeah.
if people don't want
And
to
for
believe,
Evan Mobley and Jared Allen.
yeah,
Also.
yeah. If people don't want to believe, I can't like fault them on that.
No, I get that. The only thing is like implicitly, I trust Donovan Mitchell in the playoffs.
Yeah,
he's
for sure.
He's
James Harden?
I trust him the way I trust Brunson or Maxey or Tyrese. Like he's in that guard class for me as far as Eastern Conference.
1,000%.
Right. And frankly, what I saw from Cade in that playoff series against the Knicks, in terms of maturing from Game 1 to Game 6 and what he's showing now, I think he'll be fine once he gets there. The other three, I don't know yet, but I do think Harden, as much you talked about agnostic earlier, I'm a James Harden playoff atheist. I've said this many times, and frankly, as long as Dex has known me, I've been this guy, and we're talking 10 years. Like even peak Harden, I was like, yeah, fuck that. No, I don't care. But he has Donovan Mitchell. I think that helps. Allen and Mobley, we'll see. I think it's an upgrade from Garland though, who like in the playoffs, the two small guard issue. It's like Harden's at least bigger and doesn't have to be that guy now. So I think they're going to be better than they were before. And last year, to be fair to them, they did have injury stuff. Like Mobley missed a game. Like they had injury stuff during that Pacers series.
But that's been their
jumbled it up.
whole era.
I know, yeah. So, and they got hurt against that Boston series too, where Allen got hurt, Donovan got hurt.
I
so
just don't know if I trust them
it's an incomplete for me.
defensively at the guard position. I think that's actually where the Knicks can attack them if they're smart.
They have two really good.
and I don't
they have
trust-
two really good bigs that defend though.
I
And
don't
other guys
trust
on the
them
team.
to not get punked by Mitchell Robinson. That's my other thing too.
Maybe.
So that's that.
I think this.
I think
this
they're better, though.
playoffs is gonna be the how would I say this? I think this playoff is going to be the styles make fights playoffs,
100%.
unlike any other playoff that we've
100%.
seen in recent memory. There's just OKC is like 1 in 1,000 against the Spurs this season, right? It's like Denver. For whatever reason, Denver cannot beat the Knicks. The Knicks can't beat the Pistons. The Cavs are the ultimate wild card. Boston is even more of a wild card if you think about the Tatum factor. If and when he does return, what is that going to look like?
Different,
and how do they
makeup.
match up?
Different makeup than last year too.
Exactly.
Like they have more grit now.
Now you've got the Hornets emerging as a legit
love them.
problem. As a legit problem for whoever sees them.
My favorite
Maxey
league
and
pass team.
Edgecombe. You cannot sleep on them. And then what if Embiid's knee regenerates?
Yeah.
What if the HGH cooks up in Paul George and it gives him more power, right? What is going to happen there? And then who else? Orlando, you could say what you want, but with the right matchup, with Franz and Paolo, they might give a team some fits.
The Eastern Conference is better than people talk about.
Toronto, their narrative is they can't beat the top teams, but they're doing enough to stay within the top 6.
Yeah.
So it's really going to come down to the seeding in both conferences, and I think that's going to be the most fascinating aspect because I don't think there's a safe seed.
Nope.
There's
And
no
I
more
love
safe
that point.
seeds.
And not
Yeah,
all the
I
matchups
agree.
not all the matchups are going to carry over either. Like
Right.
we talked about the Knicks and their lack of success against Boston last year, and then they went and beat Boston. That doesn't mean it's always going to happen. Coincidentally, I think they were 1-3 against the Pistons last year in the regular season. Then they beat them in the playoffs.
That last game was some like. It was like the last game of the season, like towards the last games of the season, and I think that it was. The Pistons needed that to clinch the playoffs more than the Knicks, but the fact still remains.
Yes.
And I think the other factor that you have to involve in it is this was a team that largely was not adjusting. We've seen them make adjustments and
I agree.
utilize that information that
Nation.
they've downloaded from these matchups and then apply it to the next one and apply it to the next one. So I don't know if there's going to be a situation where a brand new wrinkle emerges that will give them an advantage. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked actually with the Knicks because it feels like Mike Brown is sitting on some stuff, and he still has Deuce McBride if he's ready to deploy with the rest of these guys.
Yeah. If he's ready, because that hernia shit is no joke.
Yeah,
Like,
we'll see. Do you think? I want last thing before we get out of here. I'm very curious for you with seeding. Do you think the Knicks need to try to get as high as they can, get that number 2 seed, or you kind of like just be playing good basketball by the time you get to the playoffs?
I think you get the highest seed you can because their road record is they're barely over 5. I think now they're a couple of games over 500 on the road.
The struggle is good teams.
They've actually, for the first time in a long time, made Madison Square Garden a safe haven for them.
That's
and,
true.
and hell for these opposing teams. So I think it would behoove them to get as many rounds locked in as the home with the majority of the home team with home court advantage. I think that would be in their best interest, especially given what may happen out west. You just want to try to get as many wins as possible.
I agree.
I think that paramount, it's get as many wins as possible, then get as high a seed as possible. And I think that just looms larger when you get to the later rounds. Because, once again, anything can happen, right?
Yeah.
The Knicks ended up with home court advantage as the 3 seed. Going into the conference finals. Anything can happen. So I think you have to attempt to gain home court advantage as best as possible. That's why, tonight was a great showing, but it does hurt because who thought the Celtics were going to get clapped by the Hornets?
I did. I bet on the Hornets.
I mean, I'm not shocked. I'm a little surprised, but I'm not shocked. Right?
And it's a sucks because you missed opportunity.
You missed an opportunity to gain a game.
Plus 6.5.
But this goes back
And
to
money
what
line.
people have been saying about how Boston has like a top 7 hardest strength of schedule left down this stretch.
Yeah.
And now you facing teams that want to emerge like we here. Okay.
Knicks got a lot of road games down the stretch of the season.
They
as
do,
we
but I
talked
think
about.
it's good road games, and I think they have some good tests and they have some weak ones. We talked about this. This is coming out something tomorrow that people will see, but I think that it's imperative the Knicks finish strong on the road. I think it's imperative they finish at least 5 games above 500 on the road going into the playoffs, and I think it's imperative they try to get the highest seed that they possibly can. I really believe they got to try to get the highest seed possible. They can't play around. You got to try to win as many games as possible. I'm not about ducking teams. You're right. Nobody knows. The matchups is going to be tough in the Eastern Conference this year. But you want to give yourself a chance with home games, right? Like, you want to give yourself a chance. Last comment we got here. Before last night's game, the Pistons were told the Cavs said they were not in their class. Oh, and the Pistons game was small. They got punked by the Cavs, but got smoked for us. They're being exposed lately. Exposed is a strong word there.
I don't think it's that.
I like that the Cavs have a little bit of smoke for them, but here's the thing. We'll see what you got in the playoffs. Cavs, Pistons, everybody. Everybody. This is I'm not Knicks too. This applies
Knicks
to everybody.
too, yeah.
You got to see what you got in the playoffs. We can talk all that now. It comes down to will you execute in the playoffs at a high level.
Unfortunately, it's going to come down to who's the healthiest good team in the playoffs.
The margins are slim, right?
So,
and we're going to see what's happening. However, we'll wrap on this. I think, again, if you're a Knicks fan, you want to win. They didn't win tonight, but there's a lot, I think, good that you could take away from this game. I think there's a lot good that you could take away from this game. And, we'll see how they build on this going out on the road. I think it's an important road trip, 5-game road trip. What do you want to see the record be?
Who's the last 2 teams?
So it's Denver, Lakers, Clippers back-to-back, and then in some order, Utah, Indy.
3-2, I'd be good with.
That's the floor, I think.
I think that's the floor. Like, that's the least. I don't think they should come out of this road trip
Under 500. I agree.
3-2 at the minimum. I'm chalking up one of them LA games.
Yep.
One of them, just for the back-to-back. Because their lungs are going to be on fire after Friday night, okay? If y'all ever been to Denver or Salt Lake City.
I've been to Salt Lake City, but I've never been to Denver.
This is not cap. This is no cap. The altitude is real, especially when you're not used to it. The first time I was in Denver, I was like, Oh, they was talking about this out. There's nothing. That's all in their mind. It's a old wives' tale, right? I went to go work out. I was on the treadmill 10 minutes. My nose started bleeding. Why is my nose bleeding? And I don't get it. You know some people are prone.
I've never had nosebleeds in my life.
I've never had a nosebleed, a non-contact nosebleed.
I've never had nosebleed in my life.
I've never had a non-contact nosebleed in my life
And the air
until
did that to you.
Denver. It was so arid. And I'm not going to lie. I worked out. I was on the treadmill. 15 minutes in.
You felt out of shape?
I was short of breath. Like to where I was
got
like,
tired
I
fast,
have
too.
I had to pace myself. I was like, okay, I wasn't familiar with your game, but when you're out there after a couple of days, you're all right. But it's real. It's real, especially when
Yeah.
you're not used to it. So I think they're gonna beat Denver. Their lungs are gonna be on fire. I think they're gonna beat the Lakers.
You think they're going to beat Denver?
I think
Okay.
they match up well against the Nuggets, man.
Because
Like, if you
I
look
think
at
that's
the
the
last
that's the hardest game of that trip. So
Oh yeah,
just-
100%.
Damn,
So,
so
if
you-
they get Denver, I think they can go 4-1.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
If they get Denver, they can go 4-1.
Yeah.
Because there's something about Utah and this team.
Altitude
It's like the
again.
boogeyman. Every single time, it doesn't matter how we could be playing for the Jazz. And we would beat the Knicks. It's just what the Utah Salt Lake City has been a house of horrors for that team. I
has
can't
forever.
call it.
It
It's just
has.
one of those weird things.
Thanks.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Utah is one of those L's.
They got to turn that around. Phoenix was like that for them too on West Coast trips back in the day, and they got to turn it around at some point. You can't be losing Utah. And listen, 3-2 be nice. They go 4-1.
I think they'll be favored in 4 of those games. By the way,
Right. They're probably not favored in Denver.
Denver they won't be.
Which is crazy, but whatever.
The Lakers one, I don't know. I don't think
I think
they
they
should
might
be
be
underdogs.
I think they might be slight road
but
underdogs.
maybe. And then the Clippers, the way the Clippers been playing, I still think the Knicks.
The Knicks will be favored.
I could see.
Depends on the injury report, too.
Denver's probably going to be like 3.5, something to get people to. You know what I'm saying? The Lakers are probably going to be a pick 'em.
I
It's
can
gonna
see that
the
one.
line is gonna move and do the bullshit 1.5.
Because
one,
because
1.5.
money that'll come on the Lakers.
Yeah.
But it also depends on health with that team.
Yeah.
So
So we'll see.
you don't
Yeah.
know.
It's going to be an interesting road
They'll
trip for the
definitely be
Knicks.
favored against the Pacers and the Jazz.
Yeah, and the Clippers too.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. It should be an interesting road trip.
And I feel like because the Pacers are tanking, but like Nembhard's playing today, for example. I wonder if that's one of the last games where the Pacers play everyone just because it's the Knicks.
Yeah.
Like Siakam, Nembhard, just here, play this game.
It was so nasty when they all sat after that next game. I was like, oh, now your groin hurt, huh? Now your groin hurt. Okay.
I feel like that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will see. Knicks, tough loss tonight, 103-100, but a lot to be learned. They now have a 5-game road trip out west. Should be a fun one to see what the Knicks do there. That's going to do it for us on this live edition of New York Got Game, Knicks Watch Party with my guy Jeff. Appreciate you.
You already know,
for coming
man.
through, man.
And blame me, man. I think I'm 0 for the
Are you 0 too?
Yeah.
He did one
I
of the
definitely-
Pacers games,
One of
I
them
think.
Pacers games. Yeah, one of the playoff games, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was one of the
It
playoff
might
That
be
means you
me.
got to redeem yourself in the playoffs.
Maybe I might stay away, bro. Or I gotta come in here with some sage.
Yo, bring the sage, man.
I'll bring some sage and
Bring the
sage it out.
sage.
Maybe it's me.
We got to see what the matchup is. If it's the Raptors, I don't think you're gonna need it. Raptors don't know how to.
You know what you got to do
Raptors don't know how to play against
next
the Knicks.
time you got to bring some sage, and then we come in, we got to play some Stevie Wonder.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then we
yeah.
going to get everything right.
Get that clarity, right? You gotta get that clarity. That's what it's about. You gotta get that clarity. You know, that's a great
We
idea.
got to get those inner visions.
Right.
Is what we got to
Can't get blindsided by the evil spirits. You know what I'm saying? We gotta make sure everything is
Can't
good.
be blindsided about that. That is my guy, Jeff Johnson. Check him out on Knicks Film School. Knicks Film School, they have a great, a brunch? You guys are doing a brunch
brunching
on
with
Sunday.
Brunson. Come out with us. Pen 6, right around the corner from the Garden. We got the brunch popping starting at 2:30. You want a
Sunday.
brunch? Sunday.
Lakers
This Sunday, March 8th, 2:30 on. You can come through, get brunch. First 50 people that RSVP, you get some free licks. So definitely come through. It's going to be a good time. We got a lot of people rolling through KFS, the entire KFS crew, a lot of cool people. So, definitely show up. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, definitely pull up to that.
Brunch time hoops.
That should be a good one. I'm going to try to show face for a little bit. So hopefully I'll see you on Sunday.
Hey, man, this is
Try
what
to
the
get
West Coast deals with, every day, bro. So you get a little taste of, afternoon hoops
This is
during
true.
brunch.
This is true. It should be a good one. We'll have more coming up this week on New York Got Game. Got something with me and Jeff, actually. Bryan and I have another episode coming out as well tomorrow. So a lot of good New York Got Game stuff coming up, including next week. Definitely stay tuned to that. For Jeff Johnson and Bryan Fonseca, I'm Dexter Henry. We'll catch you next time on another edition of New York Got Game. Peace.
And thanks for watching New York Got Game. Boom shakalaka.